The Roundhouse is a large circular building up at the north end of Camden Town. Though visually striking, its circular structure has often seen it become a venue without purpose. It's been a railway shed, a warehouse, a home of a theatre company, and it's been a concert venue with seen performances by the likes of Jim Morrison. But in the last century, it's been closed, almost as long as it's been open. Then came the refurbishment in 2006. The opening show was performed by a little-known company from Buenos Aires. Described as performance art and dance and accompanied by live drums, it sounded a bit like a Blue Man Group for the new millennium. It sounded like it could be the final nail in the big round coffin. The show was called Fuerza Bruta! And the future of the Roundhouse, and of live performance in general, would never be the same again. It's impossible to consider the long-delayed follow-up Fuerza Bruta AVEN, now playing at the same venue, without some context of the first show. At the time, before social media had become second nature, a buzz built around Fuerza Bruta. It sold out quickly on a word of mouth that was made even stronger as people struggled to find the right words to mouth. I still can't properly describe or explain the experience of seeing Fuerza Bruta for the first time, at least not in any way that would give it any justice. There was a man running for his life against a hurricane of paper flying in his face. There were people swimming in a pool above our heads. There were bodies encased in velvet struggling to get free. There was wind and rain and music and silence. It was above us, it was around us. We touched it, we felt everything. Fuerza Bruta was everything that only live performance can be. You didn't simply watch Fuerza Bruta, you experienced it. If you've only ever seen filmed excerpts of the show, you haven't really seen it. It's like seeing a postcard of a far-off destination and thinking you've been there on holiday. Since then, Fuerza Bruta has become a barometer against which other shows are often compared. The company are their own adjective. If you hear a show is a bit Fuerza Bruta, you know it's going to be good, if not quite as good as, well, Fuerza Bruta. Can Fuerza Bruta AVEN beat this? Well, no, of course it can't. Even if you didn't see the original, it's impossible to go in completely unaware. No matter how much you try to ignore it, AVEN will be the second album, and you can't lose your virginity twice. Some of the show's shortfalls simply come with timing. The world has changed at a rate exponentially higher than the 20 years that have passed. We expect more. We wait less. We lose interest more quickly. We marvel for a moment before moving on and demanding more. So, where Fuerza Bruta was a sum of its parts, AVEN feels more like a series of vignettes delivered in succession. As though devised independently of each other, they are served up as standalone, rather than building off each other with any cohesive narrative. When scenes seem too simplistic or too long, we switch off and wait impatiently for something bigger and better to arrive. And so it struggles to maintain the energy or reach the climax we anticipate. When performers start to encourage the audience to
wave our hands in the air, wave them like you just don't care. Wave your hands in the air, wave them like you just don't care.
It's trying too hard to be too cool and leaves us feeling too awkward. As a spectacle, it feels less spectacular. The extraordinary is a shade more ordinary. And both these sentences feel odd when you consider the scenes that are about to unfold in front of you. But AVEN suffers from the handicap of having something to be compared to, something which wasn't the case for Fuerza Bruta. So we see a man trying to escape what looks to me like a lava lamp filled with paper rushing upwards towards him. Four performers stride across and dance over a globe that flies above our heads. A couple swim, fight, make love on opposite sides of a glass box filled with water. There are butterflies, clouds, bicycles, rain, a catwalk, and a life-size whale with moving eyes watching over us as we gently touch its fin and tail. All set to a soundtrack that recalls the Ibiza nightclubs of the 90s and noughties. The audience, a large number of whom are no doubt here to relive their memories of the first time, are older now and more self-aware, less comfortable with letting themselves go with the energy of it all. Though adamant we are only as old as we feel, we try to mask the aches that come from simply standing for an hour and occasionally bobbing on ease, the Black Eyed Peas. Fuerza Bruta returned to the Roundhouse twice since its original run in 2006. It was performed in the same off-Broadway theatre for nearly a decade. It has been seen in Russia, Japan, the States, Australia, Africa. Its popularity across Europe was shown when it was the interval act in the 2009 Eurovision Song Contest. Fuerza Bruta AVEN is not that show. It will not have the same scale of success, but that should not stop you seeing it while you can. For those who saw the first show, there may be some mild disappointment, but it will also reawaken the memories of that first time, memories that are far wider than just seeing a show in Camden. For those who have never seen Fuerza Bruta, just go with your mind and your heart open. You will really have to work hard to have a bad time. And for anyone calling themselves a theatre fan, seeing Fuerza Bruta perform anything live should be a rite of passage, an item on the bucket list, a mandatory for anyone who wants to give himself this moniker. I cannot think of a single reason why you shouldn't get yourself to Camden's Roundhouse to relish in the sheer exhilaration of what is a joyous experience. Fuerza Bruta!